We are reacting to 21 Pilots. That's the first song on the queue. Here's Paladin Strait. It says 21 Pilots joined the TikTok stream.
They did?
I don't know if it's probably not the official one, but it says 21 Pilots.
If you're the real 21 Pilots, drop in the chat.
Well, if you're the real 21 Pilots,
he is a big fan. Believe me, I am too. He has turned me into a fan.
Yeah,
but we want to see if you're real.
Yeah, we just made it through fucking Clancy, so this is the last song in the album.
Well, and they see the song, or can they?
Yeah, they can see it on TikTok, yeah, and on Twitch, I guess. But all right, without further ado, let's get into it. This is Paladin Strait, last song on the album. It's definitely a vibe. Culmination of the entire story he's been telling essentially since their first album. There are like cyclical references to like songs on his very first, like before he was like signed to a label album, you know, like songs on that one. Obviously you haven't heard those, so they're not going to mean much, but this is very lore heavy, so you'll see. But it's a little odd starting at this point because you haven't seen the other stuff, the other albums and the music videos that come before it, but you know, whatever. It's been a journey, so we're just gonna check this out. Yeah. And again, the way the storytelling is cyclical. So it's like this is the end, but it's also like tying back to things at the beginning, so you can like pick right back up and you know, relive it over and over again.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Making my way towards you, tracing out a line, a route I've mapped 1,000 times. Making my way towards you. I would swim the Paladin Strait without any flotation, just a glimpse of visual aid of you on the other shoreline, waiting expectations that I'm gonna make it. Standing on the shore, staring down a hurtling storm, making its way toward me. Water rips with rage, endless row of angry waves, making its way toward me. I would swim the Paladin Strait without any flotation, just a glimpse of visual aid of you on the other shoreline, waiting expectations that I'm gonna make it.
Oh, so this is like, remember when they were in the forest or something?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same group of people, or like basically like
Yeah, like, I remember how they had the last one. They had their like the fire bonfire.
Yeah.
And then everyone came with their torches and shit. And they're like,
Exactly.
so now they're like grouped up and they're heading into Dima.
Okay.
What you just saw there was the vulture flying and the eye turning gold, and then it flipped to the bishops here. The yellow eyes is an indicator of being like possessed. Remember when he was in overcompensate, he was like possessing that like dead body, and that was the one that was like performing in front of everyone, and then he like fell down and he was actually outside of it, like showing up with the boat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that ability. So the bishops were doing that to like kind of spy on Tyler and his crew. They call them the Banditos. That's their name or whatever. But so the bishops were using the vultures to spy on them. But that's also the cover of Trench. It's one of their older albums. Was like the bird with the yellow eye, or whatever. So that's like, you know,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Here's my chance, let me take it. Can't be sure that I'll make it, even though I'm past the point of no return. I'm all in, I'm surrounded. Put my
Those are neon gravestones. So those like those things are gravestones, but they're lit up with neon lights essentially. And he has a song on Trench called Neon Gravestones. So that's like a callback.
A playback. Yeah. Creative.
Yeah. And we'll get into that song. That's probably one of my favorite 21 Pilot songs, like of all time. But it's like the grave is like calling to us. And the Dima, Dima represents like the dark thoughts of our head. And it's like kind of making the grave seem appealing. Like it's like calling, like neon lights are supposed to be attractive and like pull you towards it. So it's like, oh yeah, go to the grave. Like, it's, you know, whatever. So that's what the meaning of that is.
Okay.
money where my mouth is, even though I passed the point of no return. Here's my chance, time to take it. Can't be sure that I'll make it, even though I'm past the point of no return. I'm all in, I'm surrounded. Put my money where my mouth is, even though I'm past the point of no return. I would swim the Paladin Strait without any foundation, just a glimpse of visual aid of you on the other shoreline, waiting expectations that I'm gonna make it. On the ground are banditos, fighting while I find Nico, even though I'm past the point of no return.
Okay. So one more thing we're going to get into the song breakdown eventually, but there's so much to break down here. So the bishops, those are the people in the red cloaks. Each of them have a name. And then their names. So if you look at the Blurry Face album cover, which is the album before Trench, it's just a black square with like 9 circles on it. Okay. And each of the circles have like a weird shape, right? Each of those are supposed to represent one of the bishops. So there's 9 bishops here. And each of the bishops are named after the songs on Blurry Face in a way. So like one of them is Sakarver, right? That's the name of one of the bishops. But in the song She's a Tear in My Heart, he says she's a carver. She's a tear in my heart. She's a carver. She's a butcher with a knife, whatever. So he took Sakarver from She's a Carver and named one of the bishops Sakarver. So each of them has a name like that from one of the songs on the album, The only one who doesn't is the song that's supposed to represent, or the bishop that's supposed to represent Stressed Out, which is like their big hit.
Yeah.
Which is Blurry Face, the name of the album. And his name is Nico. Like that bishop is named Nico. So there's I guess there's technically 10 bishops, Nico and the Niners, which is a song on Trench called Nico and the Niners, where he's talking about the bishops and who he is and whatever, all that shit.
Right.
So now he's here in front of the bishops, and he's trying to find Nico, which is Blurry Face.
Okay. So is Nico like basically a representation of like the leader of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the one like in charge, and specifically the one that has been coming after Tyler his whole life.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Similar to the dream that I've had.
Yeah, I was, I thought about that, bro. I thought about it. Yeah.
Climb the top of the tower. Show you.
I'm not saying Tyler like copied me, but I had the tower first before the song, so you know. Just he just said climb the top of the tower.
Oh snap!
What was it?
Say you think they still watch it?
Who?
21
Pilots. No, I don't even think it was them. But
Even though I'm past the point of no return.
But that's him.
mm-hmm.
So few. So proud. So emotional. Hello, Clancy.
What?
That's it.
Dang! I don't even know what happened next.
Yep. So there's a lot to that. So that last shot of Nico coming and putting his hands around Tyler's neck. You know how Tyler always has the black around his neck,
Mm-hmm.
like the paint that is supposed to be representative of like the chokehold that Nico has on him. So that's why he has the black on his neck. And then the few, the proud, the emotional. That's like a quote that how he describes the clique. You know, like there's not many of us, but we're proud and we're emotional. You know, so that's the few, the proud, the emotional. So he had that jacket that said FPE.
Okay.
Right, and then he just said so few, so proud, so emotional.
Yeah,
like it was all.
So you got to be deep in the lore to understand.
Yeah, like to catch it. I mean, you can appreciate it and be like, oh yeah, that was a cool video, or the song was nice, or whatever. But like, it's all lore baked into it.
Yeah.
Now the theory, there's so many theories. People are like, oh, there's gonna be another album that comes out, and
that's what
addresses. Yeah. The thing is, he has said that this is the end of the story. Like after this album, the story is over. So that was the end of it. But like I said, it's cyclical. So we could go back right now and listen to the Isle of Flightless Birds, which was on his original album, like before he got signed and everything, where he talks about a huge battle that he has with someone. He doesn't say their name or anything. It's basically describing like him having this huge like epic battle on this Isle of Flightless Birds, which is like essentially like an island or whatever. And he's been talking about in that song that he'll swim a Paladin Strait to get to him on this island, climbs a tower, like all this stuff. So it ties back in, and you hear the birds like on that last part where he's playing first at the beginning of the song, and then you hear it again at the end. Like on the album after that part, you just hear birds like going like like chirping for like a while. So then people we're hearing that and like, oh, what birds? What does this mean? And you go back to the original album, find Isle of Flightless Birds, and then it's like, oh, so the battle happened already. That's what started this whole story,
right.
You know? And then it's like back. It ended up right before the battle.
So that bird that we saw in the music video, that's a part of the.
Well, the birds was more of the vulture and like tying into what like Trench was talking about and using them as spies, and you know the vultures were like definitely played a role in Trench, but specifically the Isle of Flightless Birds is that, like that song is it basically describes what happens next.
Yeah.
but that was already released. That's been out. It was like on their first album. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's like a weird thing.
It's like a timeline you can follow. Yeah, which is that's why I say he's creative.
Yeah,
like he's good.
They don't like really solidify the story that they're trying to tell. What up, Aaliyah? Thanks for joining. Aaliyah's actually a recording artist. She lives in Germany. She's dope. She just released some stuff and it's fire. But what was I going to say? Oh, they didn't really like solidify the story that they've been telling all this time until Trench. So they had their first like self-titled album called 21 Pilots that just has a bunch of like songs that they released before he was signed. He got signed, released Vessel. Vessel has a bunch of songs on it, but I would not say that that's like lore heavy at all. I don't think there's really anything. There's going to be a couple things that's like, oh, maybe, you know, he had something kind of planned here, but it's not heavy at all. Blurryface kind of starts like introducing the idea of like blurry face and what does that mean, the 9 circles, but again, not very heavy. Trench is when it's like, oh, here's the world, like this is what's happening right now. And he released all these letters and all this like all these like secret coded messages to kind of like tell the story of what he's been trying to say, like very subliminally. And that's like he like made it public for everyone in Trench. And then since Trench, it's been pretty apparent of what he's been doing. So,
okay.
But yeah, other than that, the song was really good.
Yeah, it was.
It's a vibe, you know.
I like the instruments and the visual too, bro. It was different. You think that was AI or CGI?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it was CGI.
Yeah,
a lot of it was CGI.
Like the eyes and all that stuff.
Yeah, all them fighting and mountains and all that.
He looked kind of created, you know, like when he got up from the cliff and he turned around and they all like how you say he faced the crowd and like started like leading them. I was like, dang, I wonder if that's AI. You know, they just like found a way to make it look really real, but. I was like, I doubt he'd do that. I
mean, it could be. I mean, in a way, but I don't know. It yeah, I felt like at a lot of moments definitely felt like very CGI heavy. But
that was the last song you said too?
That's the last song on the album.
Yeah, so it sounds like an outro. You know, even the way that how do you say, not the reverb? It's like he was like, yeah, it gave me that like the
past the point of no return. It's like almost like credits. You can like hear the credits coming, you know, like that type of thing. Yeah. So that's Clancy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I do. I'm trying to figure out like what made them like so like huge. You know, because you remember I told you after this album came out and the concert happened, they shut down the whole like downtown. And stuff yeah. And I'm just like, dang, like
I don't know. I feel like I still don't know if they're that big. I mean, they're huge. You know, people. I feel like nowadays people would be like, oh, I think I heard of 21 Pilots, but like, I don't know if maybe they are. I don't know if they're like household names though. You know, like
their music is very like calm. It's not like a commercial, you know, like a commercial hit or something like that. Everything still seems like indie to me, you know, off the album. Yeah, like they don't give me mainstream vibes. When
you hear Scaled and Icy, which was the album that came out before this one, you'll be like, oh, this was the commercial album, which wasn't kind of intentional. That's they leaned into it and like they wanted it to be that. One, he was trying to make happy music because it was during COVID. He had just had a kid. I think he had 2 kids, and he was like feeling like better, and he was like trying to make like uppity music essentially, but in a dark time that the whole country was in, you know. But even in the story that they're telling, like in this world, like it's like everything is like super bright and colorful, but like their eyes are red, like the people, like the radio people or TV hosts or whatever, and they're like, now a new band, 21 Pilots. Like it's like very like almost like 50s like pop, you know, like that type of thing, you know. So like they lean into it, but the music is very commercial, like very like pop centric. It's like pop centric and like, you know, radio hits essentially. So so I don't know, but we'll get there eventually. I'm still debating on how we want to go through the rest of their songs. Or we're just going to go through everyone you asked between 20 and 30. That's what I knows who 21 Pilots are. Yeah, I feel like it's an age thing. So like I feel like if you're in your 20s, 30s, like you'll know who 21 Pilots is. But like I don't know if they're like, you know, there's like a spectrum to it. At least know they are. You might know a couple songs or whatever, but they're not like, I don't know. Like I feel like Sabrina Carpenter gets way more attention than 21 Pilots.
She's been she's new, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been out for a few years or whatever, but like 21 Pilots have been at this since 2009.
Damn.
So yeah, like I don't know. I think it just depends. But yeah, that was Clancy.
Okay.
Any final thoughts?
I think that creativity, you get what I'm saying? I really believe like he gives like the like he doesn't care what people think type of vibes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going to create what he creates and whoever likes it.
Yeah.
Like that's what impression, you know, it gave me. You know, he's in his own lane or they're in their own lane.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So like I give major credit to that. For sure. Just like Sleep Token.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
yeah, I mean 21 Pilots is completely responsible for helping me find my sound. Like I do think my music is similar to 21 Pilots. It's obscure. Yeah. It's different, you know, whatever, but like more than anything, the influence that I got from 21 Pilots is the ability to freely create.
Yeah.
You know, from song to song, from album to album, their sound drastically varies. And that's what I got inspired from 21 Pilots of, like, because I have some songs that I guess like definitely similar vibe, but it's not like I'm not copying their sound. I'm just like making what I want to make, you know, in the moment, you know, and that's what I feel like the biggest influence that 21 Pilots has had on me. So, yeah, I agree.